Right, so welcome back to podcast 2 for Post-Match Pint. This was going to be monthly, but we've kind of changed that after we got quite good feedback from the last one, I'd say. I'm obviously with Aaron again, and Billy is the guest again for this podcast.
Yeah, so basically we're going to be talking about a few things today. Obviously it's international break, so it's a bit boring, but we are going to talk about the England result that just happened on the Monday. We are recording it on a Tuesday, so we've had a day to think about our thoughts about that. And then obviously we've got a big controversial topic to talk about, VAR, and then another one, social media, and it's pretty much its influence on football. And then we're finishing on financial fair play if we've got time.
Yeah, so we've actually got quite a broad range. I mean, the last one was more results-based, what's going to happen. This is more, maybe the future of football and different. This is taking more of like a step back, and it's more about the law of football more than it is actually the football.
This is getting deep.
I am the law.
This is dissecting it and picking out parts that people may or may not like, and we'll discuss. So, England results. We won 5-1. That's 10 goals in 2 games, so we finally learned how to score. But 5-1, I think, was an unfair reflection on the game, and we deserved to win, but only just. It weren't even just that Montenegro were good, because they were still fairly shit, but we weren't amazing, and we looked very, very lacklustre.
It was boring as fuck.
It was. I think the main thing that came across to me is that in the first 20 minutes, Lee Dixon goes, England are dominating this game. They'd had no shots on target or any shots at all. We just kept possession of the ball. I turned to my dad straight away and said, yeah, we can dominate and keep possession for the whole thing, but if you did this against Leicester when we won the league, we'd nick the ball off you and score at the other end, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
And we kept the ball for a long amount of time. We couldn't do anything with it, and then that's what happened.
And it's always backwards and sideways football.
Yeah.
It just that goal to concede was sloppy. Like Keane, he just got beaten so easily.
Keane
there.
is awful.
Got bloody nutmegged.
so bad.
How embarrassing!
I know. Keane is so poor, and I don't think he's England worthy. If everyone was fully fit, he would not have been playing.
No, it'd be Gomez and Stones probably. Even
Yeah.
Maguire might not even get in the team if they played 4 at the back.
Definitely, I think Gomez and Stones look the best.
Yeah.
And then they'll have Trent at right back.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Chilwell at left back, because Rose was awful as well. Rose
That
was
team's mad.
Yeah,
That's so
Rose-
young, that team.
Yeah.
Rose and Ali were our 2 worst players.
Oh yeah, Rose was awful from what I watched. He made a massive mistake, didn't he? And they should have scored.
Yeah,
They
he
just
made
hit it
several
wide.
mistakes. And Dele Alli's just absent, like he always is. Doesn't
I
fucking do
think
anything.
he had like 10 touches of the ball,
Yeah.
and he tried the back heel pass, which went straight to their defence.
He's just, I don't know. I really want him to go to a bigger club in the sense that like Sterling hasn't gone to Pep, and Sterling has been like developed a lot under Pep
Yeah,
earlier.
different
I
player.
really hope that that would happen with Ali, because I think he's kind of reached the dead end. He kind of reached potential in his first season, and he's never took that further for Tottenham. So I want to talk about Callum Hudson-Odoi, and for the first 20 minutes of the game. Well, when we were 1-0 down, Lee Dixon was going, Callum Hudson-Odoi, maybe he shouldn't have took this step up yet. And then as soon as that goal where it came off Barkley and went in, he was all over him and going, oh, he's been the best creative player on the pitch. Oh, Lee Dixon can fuck off. He was so contradicting last night and literally was slagging everyone off, and then he changed his mind 10 minutes later. He does not know what he's talking about. He is literally better as a FIFA commentator as he is a real one.
Yeah.
And
He's
as shit
awful as a FIFA commentator.
Yeah, he is shit. I've never liked him, and he's a fucking twat.
That's a lot of the hate.
But Callum Hudson-Odoi, man of the match
Best
for me.
player.
He's the only person every time he got the ball, he'd look forward.
Run forward, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just was trying to create something, and he did excellent.
Hudson-Odoi, right? That's his first. That's his first ever start, senior level, because he's never had a start
Never
for
started
Chelsea.
Well, no, he
Just
has.
for
Not
free.
in the Premier League. He started in the Europa League. Never
Has it?
started in the Premier League.
There you go. So Sarri is retarded because Ross Barkley got 2 goals and an assist,
Yeah.
and Hudson-Odoi, man of the match. So, sorry, play your English players. It's not hard. It's really not.
Well, I still thought that Barkley was a dubious decision going into this international break, but I think he might have proved. To be honest, it wasn't more how he played, because this season he has improved a lot. I think it was more that he isn't playing, and that annoyed me when you've got players like Aaron Wan-Bissaka playing week in, week out, and
Yeah.
didn't get in the team. So, and it's the fact that Southgate was like, I'm picking players on form. So how come Hudson-Odoi has got in the team and not like
Yeah.
like there's so much other players that have not got in the team who will play
There's,
week in, week out.
Southgate got asked about why he's not considering Grealish, and he said that basically because he doesn't play in the Premier League, it's not competitive enough. But he said we don't call up players from the Championship, but Jack Butland's in the squad, and Mason Mount got called up earlier in the season.
Yeah,
and he's not that good.
No,
but he's like 19, but he was like what I've watched him in the 2 derby games. Like he's not that good.
Big club effect because Mason Mount's on loan from Chelsea.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God, how could I forget about that?
Yeah,
he's a top 6 team.
Yeah, so he's always
it's all click now.
Yeah, clickbait.
Yeah.
Right, so definitely standout player was Callum Hudson-Odoi, and if I had to pick other players, I would probably say Barkley next.
Barkley's positioning was really good in that game.
Yeah,
I thought.
And Sterling again, showing what he's good at. Harry Kane was absent as always, but he does pop up with the goals when you need him. Well,
That's Harry Kane.
Not that we needed him, but he just kind of got
scored
one
a sweaty
anyway.
goal.
Yeah.
Hang on, that just reminds me of another thing that Lee Dixon did that pissed me off.
What?
Every single time England scored, he said, that's a really important goal. Literally every time.
5th goal. That's really important.
This game's goals come at a really important time. We were 4-1 up and we're going to win. He's like, this is really important goal because it shows the class of England. Fuck off.
No.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't sound like he knows what he's on about.
No. He sounds like a lot of commentators I can think about.
Yeah.
Oh, we shot it at the goal and it's
Michael Owen.
Gone over. Michael Owen.
Oh, he's idiot.
As long as you score more goals, you win.
The team that scores the most goals will win the match. Right, so we've gone on topic there, gone commentator based. Pickford shouldn't have been in the team really. He's just not good enough. He needs to get back to This Is England.
He just has absolutely no confidence on set pieces.
No.
I've never ever seen him go out and catch them.
No.
He's always
No,
away.
Yeah. He's a bit flappy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He does make everything look so.
Yeah, no. Every
Yeah,
dive show.
He like probably flings his whole body in the air, and goes like sideways.
He's not had a good season, but then, Heaton's definitely the best keeper, but he wasn't going to get played, was he? 'Cause Southgate has contradicted himself, saying that form-wise, we're picking the team on form, but
and then contradicts himself.
He's like, I want to pick the team from the World Cup.
He's done that a few times now.
Jordan Henderson is a big topic, and someone actually told me to talk about him because I've, up until the World Cup, always had a very, not necessarily a negative view on Henderson, but maybe he wasn't quite cutting it at the right level.
Yeah, he just didn't have that thing about him.
I think since the World Cup I might have understood him a bit more, and he definitely offers that leadership on the pitch that I think we lack, and he's better than Dyer. Definitely better
100%.
than Dyer. But I think especially at the start of the World Cup, he was actually playing forward passes, and then the Tunisia and Panama game, he looked really good. And then he started to drop off a little bit as the tournament went on, as the passes started going more back. I think he's more willing to take risks on the easier games, but it only ever goes sideways or backwards when we're playing. If we play a big team,
trying to play it safe and
every the Bayern Munich game, the PSG game for Liverpool, he just passes back.
Yeah,
he's not going to do a forward pass in those games.
He's not a risky. Sometimes He's like the classic defensive midfielder where you just bring it back to him and all they're going to do is pass it back or sideways. Yeah.
They're not going to go forward.
He is a perfect midfielder if you are
safe.
Beating Holland 1-0 in the Nations League and you want someone to just keep hold of the ball a little bit better, because I would trust him to keep the ball more than, say, Dyer or Declan Rice, who's inexperienced.
Dyer.
But I don't know, that you did have that really fucking good ball yesterday.
Oh, it was a lovely ball.
It wasn't a really good ball, and he did an over-the-top ball to Lingard, I think it was, in the World Cup, which was outstanding.
That was amazing.
So I think, I don't know, I think he just needs to work on his confidence, that is so hard for England players, because, we'll talk about this later on with social media, but the slating of English players is ridiculous. And that's not just social media, that is just the media in general.
Oh yeah, the media in general, yeah.
So, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And I would like to finish this topic on Declan Rice, who I thought did relatively well.
He did just average. He was didn't really do much wrong, but he didn't do anything amazing.
No.
It's kind of what he does at West Ham.
Yeah, he
kind of breaks up play.
Up. Yeah, he slows down.
He kept the ball
well.
Tempo.
Yeah,
sometimes
he lost the ball a couple of times, but he helped the game be at our tempo.
Yeah.
But he's not a world beater yet, I don't think. Everyone was saying that
he's
he
only
stole the
18,
show.
so
Yeah.
he's got years.
So's Hudson-Odoi though, but he actually did steal the show.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of articles last night saying, "Oh, Hudson-Odoi will get all the credit, but Declan Rice did this, that, and the other." But that he's you know, people are saying that that's just because he's not a striker. But I know it's Kante when he was doing well. I just think he's not quite at that level yet. I think he will.
I
get
think
there,
Kante's still criminally underrated.
Yeah,
somehow.
But he gets misplayed. I think this is his last season at Chelsea. If Real Madrid can call in, then somebody will go.
Oh my God, he's the best defensive midfielder in the world by a mile.
Oh yeah,
he's so good.
Can you imagine if he was tall?
If he's tall, he'd just be Ndidi.
Honestly, if I weren't, if I was a manager and I had all the money in the world, obviously first thing I'd buy is like a striker or a forward.
Harry Kane.
Yeah, someone like that. But second, Kante. Yeah, literally just like that.
I'd buy Ndidi.
I'll break
or
the
Mendy
bank
first,
to buy him.
personally. Ndidi and Mendy. I can't take replacements. Ndidi's actually got the most tackles in Europe. So Ndidi is actually still criminally underrated. I think it's just because he can't play the ball afterwards.
Yeah, he can't. He doesn't attack very well.
I know this is going to sound a bit off topic, but I watched it's not that off topic, but I saw the France highlights, and they looked terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, their fullbacks were just like Pavard. He's a bloody centre back. They play him right back. His crosses was unreal. Mbappe got a back heel assist to Griezmann, who chipped the goalkeeper off for the fourth goal.
What?
God, they look. I think they've got to be favourites for the Euros.
Oh yeah, they will be, won't they?
They're terrifying.
We just got to hope that they upset. Germany look a bit better as well. So obviously they beat Holland
Germany in the
beat
World
the Dutch,
Cup,
didn't they? 3-2.
They were awful.
I mean, I don't know if any of you two subscribe to Sky Sports Football, but it does actually reel off all the highlights.
I watched most of them.
I watched them all from the first set, but I've not watched the second set yet because last night I was watching Earth Series and stuff. But yeah, so I forgot to explain this earlier. We're going to actually film and shoot this all in a different format to last time, where we're going to speak about a topic and then save it and sort it all out. After last time, the camera kept running out of memory and randomly turning itself off after half an hour. So we're going to kind of split it up into sections. So obviously now is the end of a section, and then we'll continue instead of it all being in one flow. Because did you know that no camera can actually record for more than half an hour because of like some EU law or something?
Brexit. We should leave.
Brexit, yeah. So, yeah. Right, so, VAR. Come on.
VAR.
VAR is very good in theory, but at the moment, in the state it's in, it's very bad.
It's toxic.
It
just causes more problems than it solves.
It's too slow. It completely kills off the match, and it obviously takes up so much time. Some decisions take up to 4 minutes, and obviously the clock's still running.
Well, I think that I'm quite split on it, because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, it is an opinion. It's always going to be an opinion, and I think that's where the issue lies, really. I think that there is certain ways it should be changed. Like, I think you can't revert a decision you've made. I think you've got to blow the whistle and then decide whether not to give it. You can't carry on playing for 10 minutes
and then go back.
Because obviously last season there was that Freiburg game in Germany where it went at half time, and then they got a penalty when they were all in the changing rooms. Which I think is
ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. That shouldn't be able to be done. But yeah, I think if bias is going to happen, VAR can really, really influence that. Make bias so much more worse.
VAR in La Liga, Real Madrid, Casemiro clear dive the other week, went to VAR, got the penalty for it. It's a joke. Well, the Ajax game, the first leg of the Ajax game, did you see it?
No.
That Ajax goal they scored that got ruled off for VAR for blocking Courtois.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but he wasn't blocking Courtois. I can't agree with that.
Yeah, he was not. He was, if anything, Courtois was going into him.
Yeah, Courtois was trying to foul him.
It's a bit similar to I mean, this isn't VAR, but when Leicester played, it was Palace at Palace this season, and Vardy was through on goal and took it round that guy. No. Sorry, I'll correct that. The goalkeeper had it and Vardy nicked it off him. He barely touches him and the goalkeeper goes down and Vardy scores and they disallowed it because the goalkeeper fell on the floor like a pussy. And they're meant to give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker. That's always been the rule.
Yeah, they don't if it's a goalkeeper though. The goalkeeper always gets whatever they want.
It's bullshit.
But I think VAR they need to copy rugby pretty much. I think definitely they need to show the replay on the screen because the crowd atmosphere, all the boos and cheers. It doesn't affect rugby. They always do it in rugby, but at the end of the day in rugby, the ref still makes the right decision 96% of the time. Whereas football, I feel like
It's like 50-50, isn't it?
it's 50. Yeah, it's football's much more opinion based. It's like, especially handballs. Handballs, they need to change the rules on handballs because
so many people can get away with it.
yeah, because how's a defender supposed to put his arms around his back and constantly block it like that? That penalty they got, Man United got against PSG.
Johnson, yeah.
I think that was harsh.
I can understand why it's given because you are meant to try and touch your arms,
Yeah.
la-di-da, but he isn't even fucking looking at the ball.
Yeah, but you can't even like keep your balance. Like you see some footballers block their shots like that, but at the same time you can't move anywhere because if you'll fall on your face if you do.
Yeah, you use your arms for balance.
It's awkward.
I think there's a lot of rules that need to be changed in football, and the rules determining what's what. And I tell you what, something that really annoys me is at the beginning of every Premier League season, they always there's always something new, isn't there? There's always oh yeah, you dive, you're gonna get sent off now or whatever, like straight away.
They focus on it for the first few weeks.
Yeah, the first few weeks. It's always been Mike Dean. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Mike Dean's an amazing referee, even though he was a bell end for
It's the Mike Dean show every time he referees.
Yeah, and then after that, time wasting. That was like everyone cut down on time wasting. You took age to take a goal kick, you get a yellow card. Now that's gone. It's like no one cares about it again.
I went at the Villa QPR match. From the 50th minute they were time wasting, and the ref literally did nothing till like the 85th minute. He booked one player for time wasting, but like literally QPR had the ref in their pocket for the entire match because every decision they'd run towards the ref as well and like compete with it, and they literally we got booked for like any foul we did, whereas they did like 3 times the amount of fouls we did. But yeah, it's bad.
When we played Fulham the other day, it was like that. Every single time Mitrovic, anything happened to me, he'd get in the referee's face and they'd win some it.
What game did I watch? Fulham. I can't remember, but Mitrovic pretty much just stamped on someone and then walked off, and then the other player got booked for it.
I think referees are intimidated. I think they really need to.
Yeah,
they're always like really small, really scrawny people. They need to really get people like
a rugby player.
I think officiating in the Premier League is at an all-time low, and in the EFL it's even worse. They're blind. Like they don't even give like goal kicks and corners correctly or throw-ins.
Doing the Premier League, trust me, the amount of times I've seen things clearly go like that much over the line for like a goal kick, and the line will literally be completely like in line with it, and we'd be like, no, it didn't go out. Especially playing clubs like Tottenham. I think the Reeds ran it out about 4 times against Leicester, and they got away with it.
Honestly, there's a massive problem with officiating in this country, I think.
Oh yeah.
Because everyone complains about the referee, whereas, the World Cup's a perfect example. FIFA called up 0 English referees, but they called up an African referee.
Yeah. There's
the point. And everyone was saying it's because they don't like England. Well, it turns out it's actually because all our referees are absolutely god awful.
It seems to me that the more, important, the more well known the referee is, the worse they are. Because
I thought Clattenburg was quite good.
Clattenburg was actually quite a good ref, yeah. And obviously like Howard Webb. We've got to look at the ones of the past where they've both done major finals, haven't they?
Yeah,
because they're both good referees. But I think the main thing I noticed is that this season, every single game that I've walked away that Leicester have played where I've not been speaking about the referee is when I've never heard of the referee before. When you've got your Mike Deans, you've got your Lee Proberts, whatever. Yeah. They're always the ones that they've done a bad job because you remember them. That's how you remember their names, because they've done a bad job.
Yeah.
But when
God.
We had one guy and he'd been doing League One all season. He must have been. It was like Mike Smith, and he must have had to be called up because like last minute or something. Cause it was really weird. And he came, he got everything spot on, and Leicester won 2-0. And that was the best refereeing I've seen in a long time, and he wasn't a Premier League ref.
Well, if there's always a Premier League ref in the Championship, they've done something wrong in the last week, so they get like demoted to the Championship for a week. They're usually they're a bit crap. I find the Premier League referees to be a bit more helpful on skillful players. They blow a lot more fouls for if a skillful player. Because some EFL referees, like if you've got a skillful player, they can get double-footed. The ref will just be like, yeah, play on. That's not a foul.
So. Going back to VAR comes in next season.
It's not going to help.
No, I think it's going to cause so many problems next year. I'm quite worried.
Then it needs major work over the summer.
Definitely. It needs to completely change.
I'd get rid of half the referees, bring in like a new whole load. Ones that have been trained from the beginning with VAR, bring them all in.
Yeah, not ones that currently do it now without it.
Yeah, I'd bring up everyone and just see what happens, but I'm not confident for it at all.
No.
I already know that it's going to go against Leicester so many times because we've got such shit luck with referees. I mean,
we got bad luck with referees.
We've got like the most in like the last 2 seasons. Leicester have got like the most red cards by like 5.
We've got 5 this season already.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, a lot of them I agree with. I'm not just being biased because a lot of them, yeah. Like Harry Maguire's recent one, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, but you only like
that was a red
him,
card.
but it's a red card because the
last man tackle, wasn't it?
And but then there is other ones that I'm a bit like, right, what the fuck? It's like when Ndidi got sent off for diving last season. It was literally there was contact. He just went down too easy. But in that whole game, there was like so many dives from. I can't remember who it was we were playing. But anyway, they literally dived so many times and the referee didn't give it. Probably Crystal Palace because fucking Zaha spends more time diving than he does fucking than he's sent up. He's so overrated.
Some Villa matches. Honestly, we've had 5 or 6 penalties I think this season, but I can already recall 2 games where we should have had a penalty off the top of my head. The Middlesbrough match away, Tammy Abraham literally just got he went for the ball, he poked it past the defender. Defender flew straight into him. Ref went play on.
Fuming. He's absolutely raging.
Fuming when we won 3-0, but
so I think we're all in agreement that if you could have VAR or not, I would not have it.
Yeah,
I'd rather have the odd decision wrong than have that absolute shambles and ruining the flow. I want to be home from a game at 3 o'clock by 6 o'clock, not fucking 8:30 because of the stupid.
The thing is, it's annoying because even when a decision is even clearer, they'll sometimes get it wrong.
Yeah,
it's even more. It makes it even worse.
Yeah, I think it should be on the big screens as well. They shouldn't have to run off to another screen.
Yeah.
It should be on a big screen. Yeah. Everyone should be able to see it. The referee should make the decision there and then. And there shouldn't be people in a room. The people in the room could literally just be us 3 right now watching TVs. I'm a Leicester fan, you're a Villa fan, you're a Leicester fan.
We're watching
Leicester Villa. I don't know, fucking James Chester's just tripped up Jamie Vardy. That's a penalty, mate.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Do you agree?
Never.
That's a penalty!
It's never a penalty.
It's 2 against 1, fuck off.
Yeah, you lose.
So, I don't agree with VAR. That's the bottom line.
Same, I agree. I think it. Obviously, they're gonna try and force it and implement it in, but in this current state, it's a disaster.
I think it's going to be absolutely disgusting in the Euros as well, just as bad as it was in the World Cup.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so basically now we're going to talk about social media and how bad of an influence it is on current football, and how short. You say the short-term mindedness of fans, if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Okay, right. I'm gonna think of how I'm gonna explain this. Basically, the fans only think of the now rather than the future.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Right. I get that.
I think that's a massive problem on social media. They're they have an emotional response to everything rather than like a level head.
Yeah.
And they don't think about what they're saying. It's just
it's just instant instant hate.
As obviously Leicester for a long time have had this Puel out debate until Brendan Rodgers. I've always leant towards Puel out, but I think some of the things that went on around it were ridiculous. Some of the things that people were saying and the way, some of the posts I saw were absolutely toxic. Fans, I could literally just say, I think Puel should go. I understand why people want him in. The reason I think he should go is because, the changes he makes aren't always right. And sometimes, when we're 2-0 down, we need to strike him on whatever. It doesn't matter what I say. I could literally say it as many times, like, I can see why people want him in. Like, he might be really good in the future, but right now, I think it'd be the right decision for him to go out.
You give the world's most reasonable answer.
Yeah, I'll be really as unbiased as possible. And
then they'll be like,
Puel in. Oh, you're a bellend. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're only like this because you're a young fan. But you've not had a season ticket since 1965. Fuck off. That is literally what it's like.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Okay, my personal experience is basically Dean Smith, when he first got appointed, he went on a bit of a winning run against the top 6, and obviously everyone was like, "Wow, we're gonna get in the top 6 now straight away," because I think we were 7th or 8th. Anyway, then we went on a losing run when Grealish got injured. Anyway, Dean Smith out, 2 months in charge, completely changes the play. Obviously, we're going from we're going from a Steve Bruce style of play. So think of Warnock at Cardiff, to then trying to play it like Eddie Howe's Bournemouth. That's what we're trying to play it like now. Trying to pass it around, keep it to the ground.
As a Leicester fan, I think both of them teams pot the bus. So.
Okay, more Eddie Howe in the Championship then.
Yeah. Well, it's only. I mean, most teams that are below Leicester in the table will come to us and pot the bus because we're a good point away from home. Coming to Leicester and getting a point is good. So that's why I wanted to point out, because he couldn't beat shit teams.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't know how to break down teams that were very well. We just get to the final third and then not know what to do with it.
That was Steve Bruce in a nutshell. We played bottom of the league Ipswich, and they went down to 10 men, and we were somehow disadvantaged from going down to 10 men. We somehow got worse because they went down to 10 men. They parked the bus. It's just. But yeah, they were saying, everyone on social media was like, Dean Smith out, we're going backwards, blah blah blah. And now, anyway, we've got 4 wins in a row, and now we're 6th in the league, and now everyone's they've all gone quiet. So
Well,
that says it all. Yeah, I know, man.
I'd say not just social media, but the media obviously has a big influence.
Oh, the media's.
And how why can't they just get on the back of English players?
England,
like
yeah.
Sterling, the criticism was very unfair at the World Cup. He wasn't playing amazing, I get that. But why did they have to rip apart his tattoo? That fact that he bought his mum a house.
That was nothing.
I'm sorry, but if I bought my mum a fucking house, I'd be proud of myself. My mum would be proud of me. Why is that an issue?
I know, it's everyone though, ain't it? It's like they all just get so much hate.
Yeah.
They literally they have like a poor performance, and it's like England in disarray. Well, World Cup, they leaked the England team sheet in the press. Why would you do that for your own country? Oh, it's so bad.
Them bloody journos.
Oh, the media's a joke.
Yeah, get out.
No one likes the media.
Well, I like the media. I think.
Well, I'm doing media, of course, but I don't like.
You're taking it to make it better.
Yeah, but I think. I mean, obviously, the news needs to be negative sometimes. With every single news story, there's a bit of conflict. Someone somewhere will be getting annoyed with any piece of news that comes out.
Anything you say nowadays will always get.
Oh yeah.
You've got to have
always gonna have an opposite reaction.
Yeah, you've got to have a neutral position, I think, if you're doing a news article.
Yeah. Well, if I say, "Oh, I like having a penis," there's going to be someone somewhere going, "Well, not all of us are born with a penis." Like, like that is the modern day. But I just feel like there's not enough positive stances.
There's no positivity. No. It's like you try.
Our country is so depressing.
You try to be positive, and all you get is hate.
I think. I used to go to an after-school club at the Living Rock Church in Southampton, and it was very like churchy. But one thing, like how like little things stick with you throughout the years. I think one thing that stuck with me is because I must have been like 10, 11, and I remember them saying that they just did like a whole thing about happiness and how we've been voted the most miserable country in Europe. And that has only got worse with Brexit and everything that's going on. We are so miserable.
We are such an unhappy place to.
It's like if I get on the parking ride, I get on the bus.
Oh my god, everyone's so depressed.
Every old person gives you a miserable look because of your age.
You're young. You're young.
Oh, you're young. Why are you using what? You can drive. You can walk. Fuck off. I'm not fucking walking from Stanton to Leicester. it's they don't understand. Sometimes right, I will get on the bus and it'll be moving and I've got shit balance, and it's so hard. And there's spaces at the front. And, there's only like one stop left. So I sit at the front because what's the point? I don't really want to try and manoeuvre my way up the bus and get ragged around. I sit at the front and then everyone else who gets in the bus then will full on stare at me. Right? I
always get stared at for sitting at the front.
Yeah. One time, me and my
I'll
uncle,
happily move for an old person.
Yeah, I've moved several times.
Yeah, I've moved before. It's fine.
My uncle had a hernia. He'd probably be watching this. And I remember some woman on the bus when we got the parking ride to one Leicester game. And some woman really out loud was like some little girl was like, "Oh, why are there men sitting at the front?" And she was like, "Yeah, well, not all men let women sit down," and like really loudly, like your typical middle class. But
where's your equality there?
Yeah, there's, what you want equality then? Do one, but like why should we have to get up? You're fully fit. I'm not. I mean, obviously I can't presume that because she might have a peg leg or something. I don't know. But like. That's just out of order. What makes her deserve that seat more than me, and more than my uncle, who obviously wanted to sit down and was in some form of pain. Yeah, and they don't know that. It's society today.
It's only going to get worse with Brexit, whatever happens.
Yeah.
If we leave or if we remain, either way, there's going to be so many problems.
Yeah.
There's going to be a huge backlash.
At least we still have our football to complain about the referees and VAR and England.
Yeah, we have the Premier League, not the international break, because that's boring as
Oh my
fuck.
God, it's so bad. Please, Premier League, come back.
Well, see, I see a lot of things, and it's like, those of you who moan about the international break, well, you weren't moaning when the World Cup was on, and
Well, yeah, because that was the
that's
summer.
very
That was the summer.
different.
That's
Yeah.
not an international
Premier League
break.
is over.
and then they're like, well, we're not going to get to the World Cup without the qualifying. Well, yeah, but I don't really want to not watch club football, which is better.
The only thing I'm looking forward to is the
So much
Nations
more
League,
exciting.
because we'll win it if we beat the Dutch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Holland are the best team left in it. Who are the other two? Is it?
Portugal and
It's Portugal and
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Won't be surprised if
Portugal,
Portugal just
That's
somehow
so easy
scrape a
because
win.
there's no France and there's no
No.
Germany. Germany are like a voodoo team.
Yeah, and Spain.
Bogey team, not voodoo team.
Germany we always do really well against unless it's competitive.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
when it's competitive, we're
Yeah,
shit.
and then we collapse. We
Yeah.
absolutely capitulate against
It was this day a few years ago that we beat them 3-2.
Was it?
Pretty sure it
Do you remember
was.
that?
We
Because
spoke about this in the last one because
'cause
somebody was sort of Batman versus Superman.
Roy Hodgson actually, that was because Rooney was injured and he had to actually play a young squad, and I think that scared him, and then he played it and it
And Vardy
worked,
got
and then he
played.
was like, that's it, we can't play that again,
Yeah.
and then straight to Rooney in central midfield.
Well, I think we did a very good job covering social media.
Yeah, we've just ranted about everything else,
Yeah.
being depressed and everything about English life.
So wrapping this up, we're going to talk about financial fair play. Obviously, Man City are currently under investigation for it. What do you think?
Well, I
Can't
think
spoil your ideas, right?
this has been a long time coming for Man City, considering they spend
Shitloads.
over like 200 million like every other summer
Mm.
on
But-
players.
Well, when Leicester got promoted, we got it and we just paid it off and was like, yeah, right.
Honestly,
But it's
it's fine.
how have Man City not had this yet?
I know it's
Probably because they're paying them off before the
Yeah.
even comes in.
Chelsea have obviously got their transfer embargo, but it's not financial fair play. Well, or is it financial?
I thought it was partly.
It's something to do with their youth players,
Yeah,
the way
'cause
they
they don't-
signed youth players.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have 40 players out on loan, so
That is ridiculous.
excuse me.
Bless you. But yeah, I don't know. I think it can be bad. I think if you've got the money, you should spend it because eventually everyone's going to be someone. I can guarantee you almost every team for the league they're in is at one point going to get financial fair play.
Oh yeah,
If you're a Premier League team, you've almost
Guaranteed.
got to take that risk. You've
Mm.
got to take that risk to survive. You look at Cardiff, and maybe you've got to look at their team and go, should they have bought more Premier League players and not Championship players this year? And they might be doing better
But
by now.
but if they went down, then they'd be stuck on Premier League players' wages, and then the EFL financial fair play is so strict.
Yeah.
Like if you make, I think it's if you make over 30 million in losses over 3 years, that's it. But 30 million's like nothing in football terms,
Oh, yeah, no.
money wise.
30 million, like, that's Harry Maguire.
And obviously the problem,
2 Harry Maguires. No, hang on, no. Half
3
of
Harry
That's
Maguires.
half of Harry Maguire.
the problem, I'm going to talk about the EFL financial fair play. The problem with that is that obviously everyone in the Championship is spending so much money to try and go up every season.
Mm.
They're spending so much money on players' wages. They're trying to, obviously, they're spending like some of them now. Teams are spending like 15 million for players and stuff. But yeah, it's taken a massive financial hit. And then the EFL are just they gave QPR broke financial fair play and signed loads of players to get up, and then all the EFL did was give them a slap on the wrist. Whereas Birmingham signed a bunch of bang average players, but because they're not a very big club, they can't obviously afford it, so then they got a 9-point deduction. The rules aren't very good.
Evaluation.
Yeah, evaluation.
I do think it needs a lot of work. I think there's a lot of rules that just need a lot of work, really.
Oh,
Don't they?
God, everything in football
How would
needs
you
work.
change the rules then? If it was up to
Financial
you?
fair play should be if you spend an absolutely ridiculous amount without really recouping that. I think Man City should be definitely. under
Yeah,
this
if you've
bit,
got,
but
like-
not many other teams.
Maybe Man U.
No, I wouldn't even say Man U because they do a lot of selling, and they've only
Yeah, I
really
suppose
bought
they do
Pogba.
sell quite a lot, yeah.
And I mean, Wolves. I'd give it Wolves because they spent a ridiculous amount last year in the Championship. They've broke the transfer record by like almost 10 million for the Championship. Like they've obviously Ruben Neves has been worth every penny. 17 million is a bargain.
Yeah.
Now we spent like 30 million on Ross McCormack, so
Yeah,
definitely a bargain.
definitely. Look like shit. So yeah, I think it does need to change slightly, but I do also kind of agree with.
I think the Premier League one needs to be a little bit stricter, because I think, although obviously I like the top 6 to compete in Europe and everything, I kind of want a team other than the top 6 to get in the top 6.
Yeah,
Leicester, mate.
No, Leicester would be nice. Wolves would be nice.
Leicester
Watford
did
would be nice.
we did it for one season.
Well, yeah, I know you did it, but you did it when every club was not spending that money, and now, what I think,
Pogba signed for Man U.
I think sadly the Leicester thing has caused every other top 6 club to spend an absurd amount of money for that to never happen again.
Do you think?
And it's created a massive rift. Yeah, because it's just a battle for 7th place now, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Next season, Leicester will be going, let's get 7th place.
I hope that 2 teams get in the top 6 next season, but it won't happen. 2 different
6
teams.
teams will get in the top 6
No,
next
2
season.
If Wolves
2
get the same
different
backing-
teams other than the normal top
If
6.
Wolves get the same backing they've had so far, then they'll do it.
Wolves
I
are
think
looking promising.
Tottenham will flop. I
'Cause
really think Tottenham are going to
even,
flop.
Tottenham flop every season. They just manage to scrape a few points
Yeah.
from nothing.
Tottenham do very well at achieving absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Always bottling it.
Yeah.
Even 10 years ago, they're like Spurs would finish mid-table or like top 4. It'd be like completely
They're
random.
nothing
Yeah.
special, are they? It's
Like
just-
Bale would play for them, they'd get 4th,
Mm.
and then the next season they get 7th.
Obviously, Man City only just got founded 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and then
Chelsea
were founded 5 years
15.
before that. Yeah.
But yeah. So, I think we've done this in quite a good time,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah,
No
36
camera problems
minutes.
yet.
As of yet, yeah.
As of yet. I mean, obviously the audio doesn't record this, but you've got me and Aaron shouting down the mic halfway through on camera. So we've even got that to look back on and laugh. But I want to thank my co-host and Billy for turning out again.
Oh, thanks, man. I
Um,
enjoyed it again.
The next episode will probably maybe a bit more detailed, as we'll have Premier League to talk about.
Lots
yeah,
of
Premier League's
results.
more exciting.
Yeah. And just so you know, this is a little disclaimer, but there is going to be a new podcast starting soon as well on this channel, and it will be called The Vox Office, and it will be about films and TV instead of about football, where it will be me and anyone. There's not going to be a co-host for that.
Ooh.
I imagine that these two will feature the most anyway.
We get to talk
because-
about movies.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
And I intend on them to be out soon. Without being really, really discreet, and
I guess Endgame's going to be the thing we're going to be talking about.
Endgame will be the massive thing we're talking about, and the schedule
Before
this-
and after.
before and after, yes. These are going to come out hopefully weekly now. At least one or the other will be coming out. I'll be trying to be getting one out every 7 days. I mean, that can sometimes not be possible, but where I can, I will. And I'm gonna. I mean, when we have the time, this will be happening. We'll get them both out in a week, but currently it's gonna kind of be one or the other, depending on what's going on. So, if the only time that we might not, have them both together is if, say, if Man City win the league on the week starting like April 20th or 19th, whatever it is, they win it on that week, so like 2 weeks before the end of the Premier League, then we'll do a podcast on that. But then also at the end of that week is obviously when Avengers Endgame comes out, so we'd have that as well. So we'd have 2 separate ones. So yeah, I thought I'd leave that there. So I look forward to seeing you in that if that's what you're interested in. If not, then you can still use this platform for football. And in the future, if they do both go well, we might end up getting a video games one or music or whatever.
God, we're going to be like the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah. Because I did want to make it more broad, but then I also thought every single one's gonna end up being like ridiculous. Yeah, it would. I wouldn't be able to keep consistent topics if I changed it.
Oh, definitely not.
Because then I actually came up with this full blown pitch, post-match pint, and it was easy to get all the branding out. I just knew what I wanted with it straight away. And obviously I can't talk about films with post-match pint.
Yeah.
Just like I couldn't talk about football with the Vox Office. So that's why that's split. Anyway, this is probably for the start of the first Vox Office podcast, which we might be talking about Endgame because there's not lots going on in cinema.
Maybe Shazam.
Yeah, maybe Shazam.
Shazam.
Which does actually look pretty good.
Yeah, I'm really want to do like an evaluation of the MCU so far, before and future, and on that one we'll have probably topics that will take up the whole video instead of like having it so it's split. We'll have it so we have one whole podcast, and it would be like fan casting the Fantastic Four, for example, where we say, oh, I want Joe Richards to play Reed Richards, like and stuff like that. So we'll
you're right, Finn.
yeah, we'll. I'll talk to you about that in the box office, where I imagine one of these two would definitely be, and many, many more people. So thanks for watching today. Thanks, Aaron and Billy.
It's alright, man.
And
It's alright, bro.
we will see you in the next one.
Ooh.